So a couple of days ago, around 1 in the morning, I was playing chess online, and I booted up a rapid game. And I was already on tilt, and I played one of the worst games of my life. So let's get into it. It starts with f4, no surprise for me. b6, knight f3, bishop to b7, e3. And, already his development's a little bit weird. I'm like, what is he doing here? But whatever. He plays h6. I play bishop to b2. And already, he blunders a rook. And I just, in 1 second, played bishop to c4. Just totally missed a free rook. Sure, totally normal start to a chess game. 6 moves in, I could have been winning. But whatever, it's fine. Knight f6, castles, here. E6, blunting my bishop, makes sense. And I played d3. The higher elo players here might realize what's going on. This just traps my bishop. I just prevented my bishop's only escape square. And so my opponent luckily missed it and played rook g8 for some reason. And so realizing that my bishop was trapped, I played a4. But this blocks literally nothing because my opponent can just play d5 and do the exact same thing. So they obviously didn't play d5, they played knight d5. And so I see, okay, he's hitting this pawn. This is a stupid move. I'll just push my pawn. The knight jumps in and forks the queen and the rook. Sure. So I'm down in exchange, and then my opponent plays this move, d6, which is honestly a pretty nice move. And of course, I forget this knight is pinned to the bishop, and I play knight here. I lose my bishop, and then I play knight here, and I lose my rook too. I take back with the queen, and here, even though I'm down 7 points of material, I have to realize the game's not totally over. I can still try to create some counterplay. My opponent plays knight d7 and blunders his pawn over here. And then he moves the rook over here. And my queen, from the opposite side of the board, comes over and snipes the rook. Now the king moves up, and now he's only up 1 point of material. I'm back in this game. And so I immediately blunder a knight. This is just a free knight. He can take this. Takes. And I'm just losing. But instead, he plays king here. And now I'm winning. I play knight to f3, which is a good move. He plays queen c8, which I can't even begin to explain. I play knight here. And now I'm totally winning. The engine says plus 11, I guess. He plays d5, and oh no, I'm losing my bishop. It's mate in 10 here, if I just play queen check here. And the king has to take the knight, check, here, and this is mate. So the king can't take the knight. King has to move over here. And then, what is it, something like this? Yeah, this, and then then black has to give up a bunch of material, and then gets mated. You know. But this wouldn't be the worst game I've ever played if I found that. I instead play knight to h7, because obviously the queen is better surrounded by its bodyguards. The king moves over, because sure, why not? Why wouldn't you just take my bishop, but go ahead. I take this pawn, he takes back, and now I play knight here. Because in my head, I see this line where we liquidate everything, and it's equal material. And I'm good. So, we go for this line. But you'll notice, it's still -3. And that's because black has this move f6. And my knight here is trapped. It doesn't have anywhere it can go. So stupid. So stupid. I play bishop here with the hopes that he plays rook over here, and then I would take the knight, he takes back, and then I can get the knight out, and then it's equal-ish. But he doesn't do that, obviously. He plays rook here. I played g4, just hoping to get the knight out somehow. I take his knight, this was my plan, but he just takes my knight. And somehow, my bishop is just so stupid. Like, it just can't do anything. All of my pawns are on light squares. These are his only two pawns on light squares, and I can't really access them. So I play bishop here. He takes my pawn. I play here, and I'm thinking, okay, he's going to take here. I'm going to take here. And he'll only be up, like, he'll be down a pawn, but up in exchange. So that's what happens. And then he plays here. And I realize there's no way for me to save, like, any of the pawns. He just keeps winning all of my pawns. And now he's up a pawn. And yeah, there's not much I can do in this endgame. It's kind of terrible. This whole time he can just sack the rook and he's winning. Like, white has nothing here. But he doesn't want to do that, because why would he? So he just slowly does this. And here I try one last trick to see if it would work. And honestly, it'd be really, really profound if it did, because that's kind of how this game went. It would be bishop g5, or bishop to d5, I mean. Because if he takes with the pawn, this is stalemate. Right? The king has no squares to go to, but he's not in check. So this would be a draw. But instead, my opponent does not play that. He plays b4 check. And now it's just totally losing. And I resign. So this was, one of the worst games I've played. And somehow I, almost won. Despite playing absolutely horribly. I guess I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of hope here. Everyone plays terrible games. And, it's just a part of life. But you just have to keep pushing through. Try to play your best. Try to come up with tricks whenever you can. And who knows, maybe you'll swindle one of these. Well, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.